Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. Master your emotions. Learn how to be stoic. If you don't have control over your emotions, then your emotions will have control over you. The moment you lose the slightest bit of control, you open up the door to someone more rational entering your frame and finding the thumbscrew that they can turn to strike at the insecurity that makes you lose control. Once you begin to lose control of your emotions, you initiate a snowball effect, which will make you less rational, which will only make you panic and become more emotional. As you lose touch with your rationality, everyone else around you comes off as appearing more and more rational. An emotional response to any situation is the single biggest barrier to getting what you want. It will cost you a lot more than any temporary satisfaction you gain by expressing your feelings. An outburst of uncontrollable emotion always comes from a place of unconsciousness. For example, humans tend to communicate anger or defensiveness when we feel something else. The other person cannot see this, and so they feel personally attacked. This creates cascading misinterpretations that aren't helpful to any situation. Emotional people can also become aggravated and defensive whenever their actions or decisions are challenged. Whatever the reason for your emotional responses, you need to work through and evaluate what is at the heart of the issue in order to reduce the anger and defensiveness manifesting within. Issues that hit you at your core stem from something that has happened to you in the past. It most likely came from childhood experiences through your parents, who inherited it from their parents. I covered why and how you should properly resolve unresolved issues in episode 16. Watch out for any toxic behaviour forming within yourself. Bring the cause of this behaviour into the forefront of your mind to neutralise its effect. Becoming conscious allows you to disidentify from the unconscious aspect of the mind causing these uncontrollable emotional outbursts. We all understand that toxic, uncontrollable emotional responses of any kind are not socially acceptable. When we feel these coming, we are forced to suppress them, and suppression is even worse. The best solution is to work out what is really at the heart of the issue, regain control of your emotions, and you will minimise the need to suppress your darker emotions. Eventually, you will minimise the emotions that you have to control to a manageable level, and your emotions, especially your dark emotions, can begin to serve you. The number of people that have actually done this is extremely small. It's safe to assume that everyone you meet lives their lives in a compromised state, whereby their emotions unconsciously control their actions. Most people will deny this, but this only proves my point. Denial pushes the psyche to repress the conscious aspect of the mind attempting to emerge. The unconscious aspects of our personality have control over us proportional to the degree that they are repressed. Keep this in mind for times when people are getting angry with you. People are generally dealing with issues that have deep roots far beyond anything that you could imagine. When you are the target of someone's emotional tantrum or even an attack, remind yourself that that person's pain or trauma is bubbling to the surface in your presence. You become a convenient target for their frustrations and resentments accumulated over the years. They are projecting their traumatic experiences onto you. This projection is also unconscious. It is not directed at you. Their issues predate you by a long, long time. This projection of anger is likely directed at you because you are the one who is reminding them of an issue of theirs. If the person is really out of touch with their emotions, then you could just be in the path of destruction. In any case, don't take it personally. Nothing in life is ever really personal. You are usually in the way, or you dig up feelings that are so painful to someone that they overreact in your direction. Understand that it is not your fault that this person is upset. Do not buy into it. People are entirely responsible for regulating their own emotions. Someone else's emotional response to a situation is never your fault. If you feel dark emotions towards this person, you may even take some level of comfort in the fact that they are hurting, and something you said is causing their pain. Think of it like a pre-revenge. Obviously, you didn't mean to evoke such a response, but this person is hurting from something traumatic that has happened to them in the past. Learn to pity them. Pity them for the fact that something bad has happened to them and they are too ignorant to work through their issues. Do this and your anger for them will melt away. Another consideration in mastering your emotions is to ensure that you have stability of your emotions. This means that you have small differences in between your highs and lows. I have already introduced this concept in episode 24. Bipolar disorder is a disorder with abnormally elevated moods followed by periods of deep depression. This is a very emotionally unstable way to live. The emotional fluctuations can be traumatizing. All of the people in your life who are unstable allow their moods to reach extreme highs, which results in a severe come down. By controlling and capping your highs, you prevent the lows from consuming you. When you control the euphoria, you will find that the good feeling lasts longer than it would have if you'd allowed the euphoria to run free. When something extraordinary happens to you, control your emotions. Draw it out longer. By mastering this, it will not only teach you how to control happiness and sadness, but it will also teach you how to control other complementary emotions, such as pride and shame, anger and peace, excitations and anxieties. By mastering your emotions, you will master your actions, and the master of actions is the master of all future realities. It is important to note before the conclusion of today's episode that mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing your emotions. Suppression is dangerous. Emotions are what make us human. This includes our ability to speak, think, bond, and love. Our emotions are responsible for our greatness, which enabled humans to become the preeminent animal on the planet. Think of mastering your emotions like domesticating a pack of wild dogs. As dangerous as wild dogs are, if you can tame them, they can begin to serve you. Like your emotions, you must tame them and keep them domesticated so that you remain in control. Allow your emotions to roam free from time to time, like taking the dogs for a walk. Allow yourself a controlled emotional outlet where you can channel your emotions in a controlled and productive manner, and your emotions can actually serve you tremendously. Anger, defensiveness, fear, and envy can all be useful emotions if you can harness them and channel them in positive ways. This is how you become the master of your emotions. Final thought from the essays of Arthur Schopenhauer, Counsels and Maxims. If possible, no animosity should be felt for anyone, but carefully observe and remember the manner in which a man conducts himself, so that you may take the measure of his value and regulate your bearing to him accordingly. Anger and hatred should never be shown, otherwise than in what you do, and feelings will be all the more effective in action, insofar as you avoid the exhibition of them in any other way. It is only cold-blooded animals whose bite is poisonous. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 44, I'll go through red flags that disqualify a woman. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.